Hello, everyone, and welcome to this exclusive video series, Adaptable HR. The future is now, brought to you by People Matters in association with Allied Solutions. I am Yasmin Taj, Senior Editor with People Matters, and I will be your host for this series, wherein we will be discussing the key findings from Asia Pacific's largest study on the state of HR transformation and talking to some leading CHROs on what adaptability means to them in today's context. In this rapidly evolving world, Adaptable plays a central role in helping organizations navigate the ever-changing business and operating environment. As per Asia Pacific's largest study on the state of HR transformation, recently launched by Allied Solutions and People Matters. The third edition of the study focuses on the theme Adaptable HR, as talent and the community at large face an unprecedented situation triggered by the COVID-19 crisis. It shows how being adaptable is no longer a choice. It is an imperative. It is the inevitable. Everything at the workplace is undergoing dramatic transformation. And interestingly, what could have been a reality of the future has now become the present. And I'm glad to share with you today that for this episode, it is my pleasure to welcome Stephen Yudiyanto, Head of Human Capital Talent, Organization and Performance at PT Pank Manthiri, and Shashwat Kumar, Vice President and Asia Head, Payroll Advisory and Cloud Solutions, Allied Solutions. In today's interview, the first part would consist of a briefing session on the State of HR Transformation Study 2020 by Shashwat, wherein he will be taking us through the key highlights and findings of the study, along with taking Stephen's expert inputs and understanding his viewpoints of its relevance in the industry. We will then move on to an interesting conversation with Stephen and ask him some questions around what adaptability means to him in today's context and how his organization is becoming more adaptable in the current times. So let's begin and deep dive into Asia Pacific's largest study on HR transformation.
Coming to the context of adaptability at the forefront and how all organizations, if you look at in current times, have leaned on HR to really help business pivot to the new way of working. Stephen, if you look at your own organization, you will see that HR has been at the forefront of enabling businesses to continue operations. HR would have been kind of very active in understanding employee challenges, both from how they are feeling versus really how do you take care of their well-being. HR has been collaborating at, I will say, hyper speed with outside and inside stakeholders within HR to enable right outcomes. And they have been calibrating feedback and using that calibration to really improve upon the design or the solutions which was happening. If you ask me, this is really core to what adaptability looks like. So in many ways, HR was living the future thanks to amplification of challenges which happened on account of COVID. Are we saying that this need will go away? Certainly not. What has been happening over multiple years, and it's only accelerating, is the pace of business breakthrough, which is really anchored on the fact that innovations are happening at a faster pace, and hence business needs to continuously change its strategy, which will have demands around capability switches, shifts, and so on. If you think of how organization and jobs are getting reconfigured, that's not going to go away. And HR will continue to see demand around org changes, job reconfiguration. Think of all the digital or transformation projects currently in your organization. All of them actually connect back to organization and job changes. And finally, and very importantly, is really the piece around talent as experience and aspirations. They continue to evolve and change. And HR needs to address all these pieces. And if we are saying all these three dimensions will continue to see acceleration in change, HR certainly needs to be adapting to this change. HR needs to be adaptable at its core. What adaptability looks like is really HR's ability to sense and adjust to new conditions all the time. And as we looked at the research and the data therein, we really arrived at this model. And this model got anchored around three outcomes which matters to business, or three anchors which is important to organization. Think of it as commitment to outcomes. So instead of saying that this is business outcomes, we said commitment to outcomes, because this is a commitment which is a joint commitment between big business and HR to say what is really meaningful value of HR to the business. Adoption at heart is really the lens or the focus in HR to say how we will work and design things so that there is an uptake. That's fundamentally different from designing things which are with a program lens. And finally, navigating to the future. This is different from saying analytics, because analytics gets created but does not get used. So this is about DNA of saying what is the analytics which will help us navigate to the future. Analytics which can really act as GPS to our talent strategy. So really these are the three outcome level changes which organizations are looking for. As you think of enabling those, you will have to think of change in the discipline in which HR works. Discipline change around design. And this is really thinking of design to enable outcomes is different from program design. This is a design which breaks across silos of functional silos in HR, puts employees or customers at the center, and then designs things which is enabling adoption. HR will have to become way more bigger expert around experience, not only experience design. Experience is also a discipline. Experience is discipline of looking at data, anchoring your decisions in that, and really reacting to that in time. That really goes back to the third anchor or discipline of governance. Governance is different from compliance. It's really HR's ability to interact with business and within HR to continuously improve and change things. That's really the governance which enables HR to move forward. So that's really the overall model of adaptable HR. In our report, we have detailed this out into various attributes, and that's how we have created an index around it. And we looked at the index and the data to say if this is adaptable HR, if organizations are living this life, how are their numbers and their impact changing? So what came out from that is very interesting. We have 4 archetypes of organizations here, and this is continuously a theme which runs through in the research. If you look at ad hoc organizations, these are organizations of all sizes, but organizations who don't have clarity around HR operating model or their HR technology, they tend to score lower on all the 3 indexes. Organizations who have defined their HR operating model, they improve their score by around 10% or so, and they also improve their HR to FT ratio, which is shown at the bottom. But if you notice, the pattern of score remains same. Then if you look at the organizations who have really done their HR operating model and HR technology, and the two are in sync, the score goes up by close to 20%, and the ratios of efficiencies in HR also improve. It's a big leap. And this is what we call as digital divide. When you really get your digital strategy right, it's not about only technology. It's about technology and new HR operating model going hand in hand and working in sync. And then that's the improvement. Note the pattern is trying to change there, but still the scoring pattern on the index is very similar to the other 2 archetypes. Now, we actually said that can we unpeel the onion further and look at what's there further in. We then picked up a outlier, what we call in report as outlier archetype, which is nothing else but the previous archetype with a small subset of those who are also highly satisfied with technology. The moment you do that, you see a swing, which is 10 to 30%. There is also a swing in efficiencies. But interestingly, what happens is you start seeing the pattern shift. These are the organizations which are scoring way better on navigating to the future. And later on in the report, we discuss these are the organizations who actually do one thing disproportionately well, which is HR's ability to drive discipline around governance in talking to business, understanding the key issues, getting everyone anchored around that and problem solving that with a disciplined mindset. And that's where we said, this is actually the discipline divide. And as we looked at more data, we realized this discipline divide, organizations who overcome this, they continuously tend to do more impact on a business perspective from an effectiveness angle. And they also tend to do better on new levers of efficiencies. That's where this new chart will actually throw more light on that. And as you look at this chart, Park Steve, and I will have to request you to look at it really split. Look at the right half and look at the left half. As you focus on the right half, and this is where most of the mature organizations, these are the organizations who have crossed the digital divide. When you ask them, what is your focus as HR? Where do you feel you are adding value? They talk about culture alignment. They talk about our ability to keep pace with innovation and enable success of business. They talk about de-risking critical HR, critical roles across business to help succeed with their strategy. HR keeping pace with disruptions. They talk about managing employee experience and aspirations. Interestingly, when you look at these organizations, it's not like that they are not doing things on the left. They are doing all of that. And they are doing those things really well. Because if you remember, they have crossed the chasm of digital divide. So their operating model is working well. They are collaborating well within HR. Their HR technology is in place. And that allows them to focus large part of their bandwidth on business specific outcomes. And this they are doing with lesser number of employees. Interestingly, these are the organizations who also have the discipline to focus on future new emerging trends. And that's where you see these are the people who tend to do better at things like robotics, cognitive technologies, and so on. And hence, if you really have to bring all this together, organizations who are adaptable at heart are more efficient, are really executing basic hygiene effort with real discipline without much bandwidth getting involved. And they are creating a strategic impact because the rest of their talent and bandwidth is focused on what really matters to business or to employees and how that value differentiation can happen. These are the organizations who are also anchored with this discipline in executing aligned to the future, whether it comes to efficiencies and effectiveness within HR itself, from new tool set, adoption of those tool sets, and from what really matters to business. And if you really step back and think of it, all of us will want to work for such an HR function. Now, one more dimension is worth looking at, because people did talk about focus areas and the risks, and all organizations talked about the same things. So it's not like that the fact that the larger ecosystem of participants do not know that stronger alignment of culture is a risk. They are aware of it, they know that, but their ability to respond to that risk is lower. And that's the another difference, which really re-emphasizes what I was sharing in the earlier slide.